Well, I guess I'm just recording videos in this shirt because I got shit to catch up on and I'm not going upstairs to change. So, here's some books that I bought weeks ago that I haven't gotten around to filming about. So, let's do a book haul. We're gonna do this Durfee style where we just, there's books down here, by the way. Those are sci-fi. These are my fantasy books that I'm starting off with. So, don't fall. So, as I mentioned before, I'm continuing with the collection of Discworld novels, and I will buy them in mass market since there's a billion of them. Bam, Color of Magic, which I hear is not great, but the start of everything, and The Light Fantastic. Same sort of thing. I do want to read these, see sort of where this all started. I understand fully that they do not get the praise that other books in the series get. A lot of people seem to dislike it, but here we are. Also, one that I don't hear great things about, Pyramids. But, as I said, I'm going to try to read all of these. And I may take it one series at a time. I might go publication order. Who knows? But there's those. And then the biggest one that I've actually seen, Going Postal, which is actually one of the thicker. This thing is like 460 pages. That's pretty big for a Discworld book. But I love Discworld from what I've read. Obviously, that is perhaps a little bit biased because I started with Death and the Watch books. But I'm interested in seeing, where things started and trying some of these other series because I do have those. I've got Small Gods and Equal Rights as well. So I really want to get some more Discworld. I will start getting back to some of that soon and probably throw in a couple of those a month when I wrap up some other series just because I'm not in a hurry to get through all of Discworld. There's a lot of it. That could be an entire reading, months in itself. So Discworld. Next up, and I guess this is a sci-fi book. It looked like a fantasy book when I picked it up. A must-read from Sci-Fi Now is on the cover, so it's a sci-fi book. And this kind of looks like Death Stranding with a sword, kind of. The Vagrant, which I believe the other books in the series are like the something, so there's different variations. I don't honestly know what the hell this book is, but it looked super cool just from the cover. This guy's got a sword and he's holding a baby. Some Death Stranding vibes. He's walking around with a little baby. But also the Vagrant is his name. He has no other. Friendless and alone, he walks a desolate, war-torn landscape. His purpose is to reach the Shining City and deliver the only weapon that may make a difference in the war. But the Shining City is far away, and the world is a very dangerous place. Dude, is this Death Stranding, the book? Like, what the hell is this? Obviously, I'm assuming that delivering the weapon is the child and not the sword that he carries on his back. So, I don't know. The artwork looks fantastic. It's somewhat short. It sounds pretty cool. I was looking for more in the book, but it doesn't really tell you a lot, so I don't know. Has anybody read this? Is it good? It looks pretty cool. So yeah, The Vagrant by Peter Newman. There you go. Next up, and I don't know much about this, but my friend Leanna does. Oh, it's got the paper that I like. Sorry, that's probably super annoying. The Wolf by Leo Carew. Leo Carew. All right, so The Wolf. It's a fantasy book. It's got pretty rave reviews about being the first of a series. I don't know anything about this book. Let's check the back. War, rivalry, and honor in a world where the fiercest enemies are always closer than they seem. Beyond the Black River, among the forests and mountains of the north, lives an ancient race of people. Their lives are measured in centuries, not decades. They revel in wilderness and resilience, and they scorn wealth and comfort. By contrast, those in the south live in the moment, their lives more fleeting. They crave wealth and power. Their ambition is limitless, and their cunning unmatched. When the armies of the south flood across the Black River, the fragile peace between the two races is shattered. On a lightning-struck battlefield, the two sides will fight. For their people, for their land, for their survival. Sounds pretty cool. And I know that Leanna loves this book, so I trust her opinion for the most part on most things. But I'm definitely intrigued by this one. And that's a badass wolf helmet, so we'll see. All right, so stepping into some more of the sci-fi stuff. You already saw one of these because I did say I'm reading it next month, and it's part of my TBR. But I went ahead and got the rest of the Sun Eater books that are currently out. So I got The Lesser Devil, which is the novella that follows Crispin, Hadrian's brother. This takes place during part of Empire of Silence that I'm just going to keep vague. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't think it's much of a spoiler, but that's when this takes place. So I've heard pretty interesting things about that, honestly, that it's actually a pretty good novella. And then I've got, of course, The Howling Dark, which you've seen, book 2, and Demon in White. book 3. So that'll be July and August reads here as I continue reading through Sun Eater. Fantastic sci-fi, fantasy blend, space opera, great characters, gorgeous writing, awesome action, intriguing races and alien civilizations. Just it's got everything just based on Empire Silence that I love. And I hear the rest of the books are better, so let's go. Next up, one that I've heard tons of great things about, and I absolutely love the cover, so I don't know why they ruined it with this stupid, the little cut cover thing, so that we can show quotes. But Memory Called Empire, because I like space operas, by Arcady Martin. This honestly just grabbed me because obviously the cover looks sweet. It's got like some Dune vibes. I mean, it's very space-like. That's a super awesome throne sitting on here. But I don't actually know too much about this book other than I hear great things about it. I don't know how many books this is going to be. I believe there's 2. There's Memory Called Empire and A Desolation Called Peace. 2 of the most gorgeous covers that I've seen in a while. And I'm really digging sort of these like sci-fi fantasy blended space operas. It's really cool, and I feel like a lot of space operas now are just pulling themes and story structures from fantasy, and it's just it clicks for me. It's very, very much what I want to read. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. Looks really, really cool. Next up, and luckily this was not, I do believe this is a newer cover for this book. It's not like a stupid Amazon cover with Chris Pratt because they're doing an adaptation of it. But The Forever War by Joe Haldeman. So this is a fantastically acknowledged and reviewed sort of like war sci-fi that, I mean, shit, just, all right, so the author of Neuromancer, William Gibson, says, to say that The Forever War is the best science fiction war novel ever written is to damn it with faint praise. It is, for all its extrapolative brilliance, as fine and woundingly genuine a war story as any I've read. That is some well thought out high praise, and I stumbled a bit on some of those words. My bad. I've just heard nothing but fantastic things about this book. I've had it on my to be read on Goodreads forever. I really like these sci-fi books that I'm getting into, and it's like 250 pages. I love that. Next up, and shocker, is this another space opera? It is. Does it talk about Game of Thrones on it? It does. Does it talk about The Expanse on it? Of course it does, because everything is The Expanse and everything is Game of Thrones. That's how publication works. So this, of course, gets all those because this is a new sci-fi book. I think it came out last year. The Last Watch. Yeah. By J.S. Duez. This, though, of course, is another beginning to a space opera. Hopefully it's not super, redundant by the time that I get to it or recycled material, because I will have read plenty of space operas by the time I get to this. But, as everything is, it's The Expanse meets Game of Thrones, because why not? I'm surprised they didn't fucking say Gladiator, too, because that's usually on there as well. But, Expanse and Game of Thrones, there you go. Politics, space opera, interesting characters, probably some murdering going on. So there you go. It's Game of Thrones in space. Done. I then, of course, did finally, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. I do like Discworld and sort of like wacky, crazy humor. So we'll see if I get down with this. I did pick up Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy because I've heard everybody talk about it. Now, this is actually 5 novels in one. It's like a full volume of them. So I always thought Hitchhiker's Guide was just like one little standalone book. I didn't know there were a bunch of different books. This is apparently some super wacky shit. So we'll see if I get down with the humor of it. So this is why I don't know if this reads anything like Discworld. This sounds a bit more goofy than like the dry humor of a lot of Discworld. But so for Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, seconds before the Earth is demolished for a galactic freeway, Arthur Dent is saved by Ford Prefect, a researcher for the revised guide. Together, they stick out their thumbs to the stars and begin a wild journey through time and space. Then you go, the restaurant at the end of the universe. The moment before annihilation at the hands of warmongers is a curious time to crave tea. It could only happen to the cosmically displaced Arthur Dent and his comrades as they hurtle across the galaxy in a desperate search for a place to eat. Again, wackiness. And last, but certainly not least, A book that is a new release sci-fi story that everybody pretty much that I've seen. I have yet to see somebody say a negative thing about this book. They all say it's better than The Martian. I'm talking about Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, which, if you forgot, wrote The Martian. So they permanently remind you forever with this little silver sticker that I can never get rid of. But yeah, I don't actually know what to expect from this. I know that some people have praised it as like some of the greatest sci-fi that's been written, which is super interesting because it's very, very new and it's hard to kind of top some classical stories. I've yet to read The Martian. I'm going to read it first. I did see the movie. I know it's somewhat close to how the book is, but I do want to read the book first. But I've heard basically nothing but great things. And I mean, you've got Blake Crouch, Brandon Sanderson, George R.R. Martin giving a quote. There you go, because he's on everything. And Moyd's favorite author of all time, Ernest Cline, giving his wealth of knowledge to the back of the book. So there you go, Moyd. No wonder you like this book so much. So Project Hail Mary. I've heard fantastic things about it. Can't wait to read it. But that is everything that I have bought recently. Am I lying? Do I have more stuff somewhere? Nope. Cool. I did order the Live Ship Traders trilogy. So those are on the way from Book Depository. It'll probably be a few weeks before they get here, but I'm not starting that yet anyway. So that is everything that I bought recently. I've actually had these sitting here for a couple weeks now. I just finally filmed it. So what have you read recently? What have you bought recently? Do you have a book buying problem? I'm not here to help you. I'm here to make you spend more money because I also like buying books. I mean, what? The shelves aren't going to fill themselves, guys. Come on, we got to buy books. So that's going to do it for me. Like and subscribe. As always, do hit up Patreon if you want to support the channel financially and continue this stack of books that's up to my knee right now. Maybe it could be up here next time. Who knows? Always optional, but always greatly appreciated. Definitely jump in Discord though, or leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on anything that I bought here, what you like, don't like, what you think I should read. Just anything goes, guys. So until next time, keep reading.